Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Gossips 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The sanitarium room was really quiet. It was that kind of quiet you only get in a sanitarium room at night. The whole world sounded to be staying to see what would be next. The only sound was the beeping of the heart examiner that was keeping track of Luna's twinkle. This was the thing that reminded everyone that Luna was still alive. Luna was slightly hanging on. Finn stood at the bottom of her bed. His hands were gripped into fists tightly that his knuckles had turned white. He'd his fleece on, but it was hanging approximately on his shoulders. Now Finn didn't feel like a croaker at all. Finn felt like a man who had failed the person he was trying to help, and that feeling was really getting to him. The medical fleece that Finn was wearing didn't make him feel any better about the situation. Finn felt like he'd let someone down. That was a really tough thing for Finn to deal with. Again, Luna's skin looked really pale under those fluorescent lights. Her casket was moving up and down with breaths that weren't veritably steady. There were lots of tubes and cables around her small body. These machines were helping her heart and lungs do their job because they were having a time doing it by themselves. Luna's heart and lungs were. These machines were doing what Luna's heart and lungs couldn't do on their own. And the worst part? She was awake. Her eyes opened sluggishly, her dark switches moving a little as she tried to see effects. When she could eventually see Finn, her lips turned up into a small and weak smile. She said, "Finn, still." He went to her side presto, and he took her hand in both of his hands. The fritters of the woman were cold. They were too cold. He said, "I'm then," his voice was shaking. "I'm then, Luna. You're going to be okay. I promise that everything will be alright, Luna." Luna didn't respond down. Her aspect drifted toward the ceiling as if she were searching for commodity beyond the sanitarium walls. Luna was looking for commodity beyond this world. She rumored to me, "Do you flash back the night we were on the sand?" Finn swallowed hard. He surely flashed back that thing, the thing that Finn flashed back easily. The wind was blowing. The swells were crashing. I flashed back, Luna laughing and remonstrating beach at him. She had this way of looking at him like he was the person around. Luna had a laugh, it was so debonair. The way Luna looked at him, it was like nothing signified, just Luna and him. He said that he remembers, and he said it still. Luna went on, her breathing was getting really wretchedly, now she could slightly get the words out. "You told me," she said, "that it didn't count what happened to the people around us or to us. You would no way leave me, you would always be there for me, you would no way walk down from me, from us, from our life." Finn's casket got really tight. He told me commodity. He really meant it. He said that he still means it. Luna eventually turned her head toward him again. Her eyes looked really candescent now. It wasn't just because she was hurt. It was because of commodity that was bothering her deeply, commodity that was affecting Luna. She said, "You walk down." She said it really still. Finn shook his head presto. "No, I didn't do that. I was just trying to keep you safe. I allowed that I had to do commodity to help the person I watch about which you, so I did what I allowed. Was stylish at that moment to cover you." Luna said to me, "You allowed." Wrong, and she said it in a gentle way. Her grip on his hand got a little stronger for a moment, and also it got weaker again. Gashes filled Finn's eyes. He said to Luna, "Please don't do this. Don't talk like this. You're going to get through this, Luna. I've seen cases with the sanitarium survive effects than what you're going through, Luna. But I'm not a case to you," Luna said. "I'm your remorse." The word really hurt him. It felt like someone had punched him in the casket. The word was like a blow that took his breath down. That word hit him hard. Finn rumored to the person, "Don't say that." Finn wanted the person to know that they were no way commodity. Finn rude. The person was no way a remorse to Finn. Luna smiled sorely. She said, "Also, why did you leave the people who watch about, Luna?" Finn wasn't suitable to give an answer. The verity was really unattractive. He picked what was safe of what he loved. He chose to suppose rather than follow his passions. He chose Steffi over Luna. Luna was really floundering to stay alive. Her life was slipping down. The situation with Luna was getting veritably serious. Luna was. It was a veritably sad thing. The heart examiner started telephoning presto. Luna squinched in pain. Her body was shaking over. Another surge of weakness. It made her feel really bad. The weakness was so strong that it made Luna's body fluctuate. The woman said to Finn, "Come to me now." She said this in a quiet voice like she was in a big hurry. He leaned down near to her until his forepart was nearly touching her forepart. The woman wanted to tell me commodity, so she said, "I need to tell you commodity." I'm hearkening. She was having a hard time breathing. Each time she breathed in and out it was veritably quiet. It sounded like it could be the last time she'd ever breathe. Her breathing was so shallow that you could hardly hear her breathing all. The woman said still, "I only have 5 words." She said, "That's all I've left now with the 5 words." Finn felt his heart break into a million pieces before she said a word. Her lips were. She had to push the words out of her mouth one at a time. She said the words sluggishly one by one and her lips kept on shaking. The words were hard for her to say, so she said them one at a time. Her lips quivered. "I loved you first. You were the bone I had passions for from the morning. The person I loved was you. I felt this way about you before anyone indeed signified to me. My heart belonged to you. You were the bone I loved first." The room went silent. It was like everyone in the room just stopped talking at the time. The room was really quiet. The silence in the room was veritably strange. Finn just stopped moving all of a. He was still. Finn was firmed in place. Those 5 words just kept going around in his mind. It was like they were stuck on reprise. It was really mean. Those 5 words would not leave him alone, they just kept playing over and over in his mind. "I loved you first. You were the bone I had passions for from the morning. My heart belonged to you, and I've to say that I loved you before you indeed knew how I felt about you. I loved you first. I do'n't love you. Not farewell. Not forgive me. Just the verity. The raw, painful verity." Finn's breath caught in his throat. He started to cry. Gashes just kept coming down his face. Finn was really worried. He couldn't stop crying. Finn's face was wet from all the gashes that were falling down. He said, "Luna, still." The woman was losing her grip. She was formerly slipping down from us. Her eyes sluggishly closed. Her hand fell limp in his hand. She was holding his hand. Now her hand was limp. Her eyes were closed. Her hand was still in his hand. The heart examiner started making a loud noise. It was like it was screaming at us. The heart examiner was going crazy, screaming and screaming. Flatline. Nursers rushed into the room presto. The croakers were crying out orders to each other. Finn was gently pushed away by the platoon as they worked to help Luna. The medical platoon was fighting to bring Luna to them, but it was too late. The croaker in charge looked at Finn. He shook his head after a long time. This was bad news for Finn. The lead croaker didn't say anything to Finn. He just kept shaking his head. The lead croaker was easily veritably sad about what was passing to Finn. The woman said that she was sorry. She spoke in a voice. "We lost the woman they were talking about." Finn fell into a president. His whole body started shaking really hard. He was crying important that big heartbreaks were coming out of him. Finn just couldn't stop crying. These heartbreaks kept tearing out of Finn. "I loved you first. You know, I really did have passions for you from the morning. The thing is, I loved you first, and that's commodity that I'll always flash back." Those words weren't just Luna's last breath. These effects reminded him of all the stuff he'd given up. He allowed about everything he'd thrown down. Those effects were a memorial of the life he used to have, of everything he'd thrown down. The aftermath. News of Luna's death spread presto through the megacity of Los Angeles. People set up out about Luna's death in no time. The news of Luna's death was over Los Angeles. Steffi saw Finn sitting by himself in their living room. He was still wearing the clothes he'd on at the sanitarium. Finn's eyes were really red. His face was veritably pale. His body wasn't moving each. Steffi looked at Finn. He just sat there not doing anything. "Finn," she asked vocally, "I heard commodity about Luna. What's going on with Luna?" The man didn't look up. "The woman told me commodity before she failed," he said. Steffi stopped for a moment. What did Steffi want to know is what she said to her. Steffi was really curious about what she said. Finn's voice was really cracked. She said, "I loved you first." Steffi's breath caught in her throat. "That doesn't mean. It means everything to me," Finn said, cutting in. "This thing that happened, it means I hurt her poorly. I left her each alone, I abandoned her. And now I've to deal with what I did, I've to live with the fact that I hurt her and abandoned her. Steffi sat down next to him and put her hand on his shoulder. She said to him, "You didn't beget this thing to be." Steffi wanted him to know that. Finn said, "But I didn't stop it either." The man felt really bad about what he did. His guilt was eating down at him. He couldn't stop allowing about his guilt. The guilt he felt was veritably strong. He wasn't suitable to sleep. The man wasn't suitable to eat. Every time he closed his eyes, the face of Luna was what he saw. The face of Luna was always there. Her smile. Her pain. Her final words. Finn's breakdown. One night Finn went back to the sand where he and Luna had a good time laughing together. The sand was the place where Finn and Luna had important fun. Finn returned to this sand. The swells crashed against the reinforcement like the swells had back also. I flash back the sound of the swells. Still the same. The swells are really loud. They hit the reinforcement veritably hard. The sound of the swells is commodity that I'll always flash back. The swells are beautiful. I love the way the swells look when they crash against the reinforcement. The sand felt really empty now. It was like the sand was missing commodity. The sand just didn't feel the same as it did ahead. The man dropped down to his knees in the beach. He was really down on his knees in the beach now. The beach was around the man as he kneeled down. The man said that he was sorry. He cried out that he was really sorry. He kept saying that he was sorry. The man repeated that he was sorry. I was staying for someone to say commodity. Nothing answered. The silence was enough weird. Nothing said a word. Luna wasn't there. This is why effects were different. Luna was really gone. Steffi's fear. Steffi saw that Finn was slipping down from her emotionally. She noticed that Finn was getting distant. It was like he was slipping down from her. Steffi felt like she was losing Finn. She didn't know how to stop it. Steffi watched as Finn slipped further and further down from her. She told Brooke that he doesn't look at her presently. He's still with her. Commodity is missing from him. She feels like part of him is gone. Brooke let out a breath. She said that grief can really change people. It's like grief gets inside of people. It changes the way they suppose and feel about effects. Brooke felt that grief can change people in ways. Steffi said, "But what if Hinoe comes back?" She really meant, what if Hinoe comes back? What are we going to do? Also, Steffi was bothered that Hinoe comes back. She wasn't just hysterical of losing Finn. The study of losing Finn was really scary for her. Losing Finn was commodity that she didn't want to be. She didn't want to lose Finn because she watched about Finn much. She was really spooked that Luna's last words had changed everything about the situation. Luna's words had an impact, and it sounded like nothing would be the same again because of what Luna said. Luna's heritage. At Luna's honorary, Finn just stood there. He didn't move. All filmland of Luna were showing on the screen. It was really sad. Finn was looking at the filmland of Luna. He was firmed in place. The filmland of Luna were veritably hard for Finn to see. Her horse laugh. Her kindness. Her love. The man had to talk. When it was his turn to talk, the man slightly made it through. The man said that Luna loved much. His voice was shaking when he said this. He didn't love Luna the way Luna merited to be loved. Not loving Luna the way Luna merited is commodity that will always bother him. The room was filled with gashes. Gashes were far and wide in the room. There were gashes over the place. The room was really filled with gashes. Steffi actually cried. She really broke down. Cried. The thing that happened was so sad that Steffi cried. Steffi was veritably worried. Steffi cried. The thing is, now everyone can see it. This is enough clear to everyone now. Everyone can see the thing now. Luna had really loved Finn. She didn't just love Finn, Luna loved Finn a lot. Luna loved Finn with all her heart. The thing is, Luna had loved Finn. She had lost the person she loved, the man who was always by her side. The person she loved was really gone. She had lost the person she loved. It was a veritably sad thing for her. Finn had lost her, ever the woman he loved, and that was a sad thing for Finn. Finn would no way see her again. That study was veritably hard for Finn to accept. Finn's final promise. That night Finn went back to the sanitarium tabernacle by himself. Finn was each alone when he got to the sanitarium tabernacle. The sanitarium tabernacle was where Finn returned to that night. He got down on his knees, rumored into the quiet. He said that he'll carry the druggie's love with him. The love of the stoner will always be with him. He'll no way forget the stoner. He'll no way take the druggie's love for granted again. He'll flash back the love of the stoner ever. No pledge could ever bring Luna back to us. Luna is really. That's veritably sad. Nothing can bring Luna now. No matter how important someone feels bad about commodity, it is impossible to forget those 5 words. Those 5 words will always be. Feeling bad about them won't make them go down. The memory of those 5 words will stay ever. I loved you first. You were the bone I had passions for from the morning. My heart belonged to you. I loved you before you indeed knew how I felt. I loved you first. That's commodity that will always be true. They weren't just her final communication. They were Finn's ever. Finn didn't return home that night. He stayed at the sanitarium for a time after they took Luna's body down. He sat in the president where he'd held Luna's hand when she failed. The room felt veritably cold and empty now. It was like Luna was the thing that made the room feel alive. Every time the machines near him made a noise, Finn allowed. About how quiet it was without Luna's twinkle. The sanitarium was a place without Luna. Finn missed Luna and the sound of her twinkle. He allowed. About her moments over and over in his mind. He couldn't stop allowing about the moments of her life. The last moments of her kept playing in his mind. He flashed back her moments and it was really sad. He kept allowing about what her last moments were like. The memory of her moments stayed with him. Her weak smile. Her pulsing voice. Those 5 words. I loved you first. You know what I suppose about that? I flash back when I first realized I loved you. It was a big deal for me. I loved you first. That's commodity that I'll always flash back. These words were commodity he said to admit his passions. These words were a memorial of the life he and she could have had together if he hadn't walked down from her. The life he and she could have had was commodity that he allowed. About a lot. These words reminded him of the life he and she could have had. Finn put his face in his hands. His shoulders were shaking poorly because the weight of the choices he made was really getting to him. For a time he told himself that he did the right thing. He picked stability, family and being responsible. Now he was standing in this empty sanitarium room and he figured out commodity that was really sad. The choices he made, they weren't what he allowed. They were. This was really hurting him. The sanitarium room was empty. The weight of his choices was still there, and it was crushing him, the choices he made. Love doesn't stay for sense to catch up. Love just. That's what makes it so amazing. The thing about love is that it doesn't watch about sense. Love is what it is. It doesn't stay for anything or anyone, not indeed sense. Love doesn't watch about the timing of effects. When it comes to love, the timing is really not that important. Love is commodity that happens and it doesn't worry about when it's supposed to be. The thing about love is that it shows up whenever it wants to. That's just the way love works. Love is really about what's true. It doesn't watch about anything. Love only wants the verity. And Luna's verity had been pure. The morning Finn went to Luna's apartment. He didn't know why he was going there. Perhaps he was looking for commodity that reminded him of Luna. The door still smelled like Luna's incense. It was a familiar smell. Luna's jacket was still hanging by the door. Her coffee mug was sitting in the Gemara. Finn saw all these effects. They made him suppose of Luna. The apartment still felt like Luna's apartment. Life had really stopped then. Everything was just still and quiet. It felt like time was standing still and nothing was moving. Life was just not passing. Then presently, the tablet was sitting on the table. It was a tablet. He set up the tablet. Luna's handwriting was over every single runner that Luna had written on. The runners were fully filled with Luna's handwriting. The woman had written commodity about the man. She had written about the man. About their first kiss. The night she realized she loved him is a moment that is still really important to her. This is the night when everything changed for her. The way she felt about him came veritably clear. The night she realized she loved him is commodity that she'll always flash back. She was really holding on to the idea that he'd return to her. This was commodity she allowed. About all the time. She kept hoping that he'd come back to her. The study of him coming back was always on her mind. She just wanted him to come back. One judgment shattered him fully. Still, with "if I die before he finds out, I want him to flash back that the person he's is the bone I always wanted to be. I want him to know that he was always my choice, the bone. I loved my choice of person to spend my life with, my choice." Finn dropped down to the bottom. The tablet slipped out of his hands. He said it still. "I know now," he said. "I know. It's a thing when you find commodity out, but it's formerly too late. Knowing came late for me, and that's really frustrating. Knowing came late. Now I've to deal with it." At the honorary, Finn stood beside Steffi. He was coming to Steffi, but he felt really far down from everything. Also, Luna's picture showed up on the screen. She looked happy and full of life. This made Finn's casket feel tight. It felt so tight that he could hardly breathe when he saw Luna's picture. Steffi saw commodity. She noticed it. Steffi was really apprehensive of what was going on around her. Steffi noticed. "She said to me, 'You do'n't have to carry the problem by yourself,'" she rumored still. "The woman was trying to tell me that I shouldn't be alone with my troubles, the problem that's." She rumored this to me. Finn wasn't sure if he could talk about this hurt. Luna's love for him was really special. It was completely genuine. She didn't watch about anything differently. And also, he went and hurt her. He broke the love that Luna had for him. Finn walked to Luna's grave by himself after the service. He put one white rose on the dirt that covered Luna's grave. The rose was each alone on the soil of Luna's grave. He said this vocally. "I should have picked you. Not rather of someone, just you." The wind touched his face. It was gentle. The wind felt like a comfort to him. The wind was really nice like that. But there was no answer. Weeks went by. The guilt was still there. Finn was really quiet and distant. He was lost in his studies. Steffi tried to talk to him and be with him. Finn couldn't stop allowing about Luna and what happened to her at the end. The memory of Luna's moments still had a hold on Finn's heart. One night, Finn stood on the deck gaping out at the megacity lights. The megacity lights were really enough. Finn liked looking at the megacity lights. Finn allowed about a lot of effects when he looked at the megacity lights. The megacity lights were so nice that Finn didn't want to go outside. Finn just wanted to keep looking at the megacity lights. The man said this to himself: "What if I had stayed?" And he said it still. What if I had actually heeded to what they were saying? I mean, what would have happened if I had really paid attention to what was being said? What if I had heeded to the words of the person who was talking to me? Perhaps effects would be different now if I had heeded to them. I keep allowing about this, and I wonder, what if I had heeded? What if I hadn't walked down from that situation? I suppose about what would have happened if I had stayed. Perhaps effects would be different now. I wonder what my life would be like if I hadn't walked down. There were no alternate chances in death. Only recollections. And remorse. Finn made a pledge to himself. He was going to do this. Finn was really going to make sure he kept this pledge to Finn. He wanted to make Luna proud of him. So he was going to try to be a person. He was going to be more honest with everyone, including himself. Luna was a person who showed him love. He didn't want to ignore that love when it was right there in front of him. When Luna was right there, in front of him. He was going to be a man who appreciated love, who appreciated Luna. Luna had loved him first. That's why she felt this way about him. The reason is that Luna had loved him before anyone differently did, including himself. Luna had loved him first. And he'd carry that verity with him ever.